finishing off the prelims, we got a massive fight between Jalin Turner and Jamie Mullarkey, and the big story here, right? Mullarkey, the way he came onto the scene, huge fight with Brad Riddell. People kept calling him the grappler, the guy that was gonna be in dog fights and get the fight to the ground, things like that. But his striking has looked good. I mean, you talk like we said, Brad Riddell goes into knocking out Devontae Smith on the feet. I mean, he really has shown off in the little time we've seen him, and now he's getting I would say a big name fight against Jalin Turner. I mean, not only are they finishing off the prelims for UFC 272, but you talk about their path here, right? Jalin Turner has looked like a brand new fighter. I mean, you want to give him kudos for imposing a new set of skills in terms of level changing, having confidence with his takedowns, finding his submission game. I think it's really complementing the way he fights on the feet. He's tall, he's long. Both these guys look really good for the 155 weight class. So I think the areas that you're seeing Jalin Turner get better at is where I think him really looking good against a guy like Jamie Mullarkey is a possibility, man. I went against Jalin Turner in the last fight, and he proved me wrong in a big way. Uros Medic, that was a really interesting fight to watch. He kind of, going into that fight, you had so much respect for Uros' boxing, and just the way Jalin Turner imposed his will on the feet. I mean, he was finding his timing so quickly, such a good jab. Just the perfect strikes, good footwork, was just the fighter a step ahead the entire time, and he was getting closer and closer, but he had patience, and the way he was able to just find his spots, got it to the ground, finished with the submission, it was just so quick, so perfect, very professional fight if you ask me, and that's the Jalin Turner 2.0. So a year or two ago, if you asked me about Jalin Turner and the current Mullarkey, I would have said this is an easy fight. Jamie Mullarkey's got this, but Jalin Turner's looking a lot better, and you look at some of the losses he has. I mean, that's really where I think that you're seeing a completely different fighter. I mean, he's evolved and become a true UFC vet, and now we're talking about a guy like Mullarkey who's new to the scene, but the experience is there. I mean, we talk about his knockouts only being at the 145 weight class, one's against Alex Volkanovski in the regional scene in Australia. So as a lightweight, Mullarkey's had a lot of success. He seems to be much more durable, finding ways to land big strikes, and not too small for the weight class after moving up. It really is a hard fight to call in the grand scheme of things, and I'm leaning Mullarkey, and maybe I'm biased because the guy, I've done well with him in terms of pick'ems and things like that. It really is a fighter to keep an eye on as the fight progresses. And Jalin Turner, right? You want to see if he can carry it for 3 rounds. You want to see if that striking lasts. And again, I think recency bias, you got to give Turner as the favorite. So for my line, I'm going to guess minus 150. I think it makes a lot of sense for Vegas to peg it around there. Mullarkey's done enough to deserve respect even as a close underdog. And Turner, to be quite honest, has really done enough to propel himself into what looks like in this fight to be a pretty good favorite. So let's take a look here. Wow. That one's square on, boys and girls. Ding, 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 ding. Jalin Turner, minus 150 opener. Minus 155, minus 160 now. Jamie Mullarkey, plus 130, plus 135. And to be quite honest, as much as I want to say Mullarkey as an underdog to pick him, I mean, the line just isn't as nice as I would expect it to be. Jalin Turner, funny enough, as much as I thought he would be that kind of a favorite, it's just, you kind of want to stay away from this one because I just see this being a very close fight, and it's tough to call, to be quite honest.